the Riotous Pet Show. In the bustling town of Whimsyville, excitement bubbled as the annual pet show approached. Mayor McSnoot's announcement promised fun, but no one anticipated the uproar it would cause. Little Timmy decided to enter his goldfish, Sir Bubbles, who had a knack for synchronized swimming. Mrs. Potts proudly announced her participation with her pot-bellied pig, Priscilla, trained to do somersaults. But the real spectacle awaited with Mr. Wigglesworth and his peculiar pets. Mr. Wigglesworth was known for his eccentricities, and his pets were no exception. First up was Fluffy, the tap-dancing cat, whose graceful moves mesmerized the audience. Next came Speedy, the skateboarding turtle, zooming around on his tiny board with surprising agility. The crowd erupted in laughter and applause, but the best was yet to come. Perched on Mr. Wigglesworth's shoulder was Polly, the parrot, famous for her knock-knock jokes. "Knock knock," Polly squawked, and the audience eagerly responded. "Who's there?" "Boo," chirped Polly, followed by a mischievous cackle. "Boo-hoo," the crowd chimed in. "Don't cry, it's just a joke," Polly exclaimed, sending the crowd into fits of giggles. Meanwhile, chaos ensued backstage as the other contestants prepared their pets. Mrs. Jenkins struggled to keep her hyperactive puppy, Fido, from chasing his tail. Across the room, Tommy desperately tried to groom his stubborn hedgehog, Spike, who refused to cooperate. As the chaos mounted, Mayor McSnoot fretted over the impending disaster. The town had never seen such a riotous pet show, and the pressure was on to maintain order. With a deep breath, Mayor McSnoot took the stage, attempting to regain control. "Ladies and gentlemen, please settle down," he announced, but the uproar only grew louder. Just as he feared the worst, a sudden hush fell over the crowd as a new contender emerged. It was Granny Smith, the town's oldest resident, accompanied by her unusual pet, Mr. Whiskers. Mr. Whiskers was not your typical pet, he was a grumpy old walrus with a penchant for mischief. Granny Smith beamed with pride as Mr. Whiskers waddled onto the stage, his whiskers bristling with determination. The audience watched in awe as Mr. Whiskers performed a series of tricks, from balancing a ball on his nose to somersaulting through a hoop. The crowd erupted into applause, and Mayor McSnoot couldn't help but smile. Despite the chaos, the pet show had turned into a roaring success, thanks to the town's eccentric residents and their even more eccentric pets. As the event came to a close, awards were handed out to the most talented pets, but everyone knew the real winners were the ones who had brought joy and laughter to Whimsyville. Little Timmy proudly accepted a ribbon for Sir Bubbles, who had wowed the judges with his synchronized swimming routine. Mrs. Potts grinned from ear to ear as Priscilla the pot-bellied pig snatched the prize for best somersaults. And of course, Mr. Wigglesworth and his trio of tap-dancing cat, skateboarding turtle, and joke-telling parrot took home the grand prize for most entertaining act. But the highlight of the day was undoubtedly Granny Smith and her grumpy old walrus, Mr. Whiskers, who had stolen the show with his unexpected talents. As the sun set on Whimsyville, the townspeople gathered for a celebratory feast, sharing stories and laughter late into the night. And though the annual pet show had been a riotous affair, it was a day they would never forget. From Fluffy's fancy footwork to Polly's hilarious jokes, the memories would linger for years to come. As for Mr. Whiskers, he may have been grumpy, but he had won the hearts of everyone in Whimsyville with his unforgettable performance. And so, as the town drifted off to sleep, they knew that no matter what the future held, they would always have their beloved pets to bring joy and laughter to their lives. The endearing chaos of the pet show had brought them closer together, reminding them of the simple pleasures of life in Whimsyville. And as they drifted off to sleep, dreaming of tap-dancing cats and joke-telling parrots. They knew that there was nowhere else in the world they would rather be. But the adventures of Whimsyville were far from over, and who knows what mischief Mr. Whiskers and his fellow pets would get up to next year. For now, they basked in the glow of their shared laughter and the warmth of their eccentric community. And as the stars twinkled overhead, they whispered to one another, "Good night, Whimsyville. Good night, Mr. Whiskers. And good night, Fluffy, Speedy, and Polly. Until we meet again." The town fell silent, save for the occasional snore or rustle of leaves in the breeze. But in their dreams, they danced with tap-dancing cats and laughed at knock-knock jokes, surrounded by the ones they loved most. And so, in the magical world of Whimsyville, where anything was possible, they slept soundly, dreaming of the adventures that awaited them in the morning. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, Whimsyville stirred once more, ready to embrace whatever the day had in store. And as the townspeople went about their daily routines, they couldn't help but smile at the memories of the pet show and the joy it had brought them. For in Whimsyville, every day was an adventure, filled with laughter, love, and the delightful antics of their beloved pets. And as they went about their day, they knew that no matter what challenges they faced, they would always have their pets by their side to bring a little magic into their lives. So as the sun shone down on Whimsyville once more, the townspeople laughed and played, grateful for the joy that their eccentric pets brought them each and every day. And as they gathered once more in the town square, they couldn't help but wonder what adventures awaited them next. For in Whimsyville, anything was possible, especially when you had a tap-dancing cat, a skateboarding turtle, and a joke-telling parrot by your side. So as the day drew to a close and the stars twinkled overhead, the townspeople of Whimsyville drifted off to sleep, dreaming of the adventures that awaited them tomorrow. And as they slept, their dreams were filled with laughter and joy, the memories of the pet show still fresh in their minds. For in Whimsyville, the laughter never faded, and the love for their eccentric pets only grew stronger with each passing day. And so, as the night enveloped Whimsyville in its embrace, the townspeople slept soundly, their hearts full of love and their dreams filled with laughter. And as the sun rose once more over Whimsyville, the townspeople awoke with smiles on their faces, ready to embrace the day and all the adventures it would bring. For in Whimsyville, every day was a new beginning, and with their beloved pets by their side, they knew that anything was possible. And so, hand in hand with their furry and feathered friends, the townspeople of Whimsyville set off into the day, ready to laugh, play, and make memories that would last a lifetime.